Greetings, everyone. It's Reed. Today, we're going to talk about SHTF. It's here. It's do or die time. You don't succeed, you're dead. And it's a good thing to talk about, right? And you're wondering, what the heck am I talking about? Well, Steve at Corsair Trainers, you can go check it out of there, has mentioned a lot of times we talk about in SHTF, zombie apocalypse, end of the world from an asteroid, EMPs, all sorts of stuff, right? But a lot of very important things for preparedness actually happens at home. Loss of jobs, loss of finances, and stuff like that. Or when people have really bad days. And I thought it'd be good to tell you about one of my really, really bad days. Basically, I didn't succeed. I was gonna die. Absolutely gonna be dead. No one was gonna help me. It was up to me. I had to figure out how to survive the situation. Now, let me tell you the story. Obviously, I did make it through the situation because I'm telling you the story. But let's see if I can build at least a little suspense for you. Anyways, many, many years ago, I think we're talking like 2007, 2008 timeline, that, I was home alone, and I was like, I'm gonna make myself a wonderful, juicy steak dinner. I get the grill going, cook it up, smoke it, put some wood chips in there, and it was nice. Just the way I would like my steak. I had it cooked to perfection. And given that I was home alone at the time and decided, I wanted a really good dinner, I made a big steak. And like I said, I had it perfect. So I'm sitting there eating away going, man, this is a good steak and stuff. And then suddenly I'm like, something kind of felt real weird. So I grabbed some water, take a swig of it, tried to swallow. Doesn't go anywhere. In fact, you get this massive pain right here in my throat. It's just like the muscles are spasming, clamping up and trying to move something. Well, if you notice about hydraulics, stuff like that, can't compress a liquid. Well, those throat muscles, they're trying as hard as they can to push it down. It ain't going anywhere. Water goes right into my lungs. And I'm going, and I also discovered I couldn't take any air in. Whatever was stuck all down me was preventing me from getting any other air in. So I'm trying to suck in air. It's not happening. Not happening at all. And then the realization hits me like a ton of bricks. You're choking to death. You don't act, you don't do something, you're gonna die right here. Oh yeah. See, a lot of times people talk about, you've gotta, control your fear, be the master of it, and all this other stuff. Unless you've been in a situation where you can realize you are dying right now. This is a very bad moment, and if you don't succeed, you will be dead. That adrenaline dump, that massive, unbelievable pounding of adrenaline, you have no idea what you're talking about. None. It's not, preventing panic or any of this other stuff. It's about managing the panic that suddenly envelops you. And trust me, it envelops you completely. This isn't someone I can fight against. This isn't some enemy, stuff like that. No. I am on my own. I have 3 minutes before permanent brain damage, and I got to deal with this. And I couldn't even talk. Okay? Now, I was in full panic mode, but I was able to keep my wits. Barely. And that was the key thing that saved my life here, is I kept my wits. Now, how do you clear a major choking event? Well, the Heimlich maneuver, right? Well, no one was around, and like I said, everyone was gone, This happened actually over a holiday period, so a lot of people that were in the neighborhood, well, they had all taken off to go visit relatives. Houses near me were all blank and dark, okay? And so no one's going to be giving me the Heimlich maneuver. I remembered just vaguely that you could throw yourself on a chair real hard, and that could do it, right? So I get at one of my chairs and I throw myself as hard as I could against it. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. And, it's feeling like, 10 minutes have gone by, but I don't know, seconds, because you're moving fast when this stuff's going down, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't care how bad it hurts. I laid the chair on its side. I just threw it over, so it's sticking up where its back's right against the floor and its side is sticking up like this, right? Okay. And I literally jumped onto it and hit myself right on the chest as hard as I could, just literally jumping onto the chair. All right. It caused me to spit out hard enough some steak and a bunch of Tang I think I had to drink or something like that with it or whatever. And just enough where I could sort of take a breath. But it was a breath like where there was like this gurgling and stuff like that. There was still all this stuff trapped in my throat. Okay. But I could at least breathe partially. Then it was call 911. Get the cell phone out, dial, emergency call. And let me tell you, with that much adrenaline running through you, fine motor skills, they don't exist. They're gone. Thankfully, I had an older phone at the time, and I was able to just get the big buttons and go with the flip phone, 911. Guy answers, what is your emergency? I can't breathe, I'm choking. As gravelly and horrific as I sounded at the time. He's like, what? Can you speak up? No, not really. Try again, The next thing he says, what's your location? Now, this was the time that cell phones had GPS, but for a lot of people that are out in other areas, enhanced 911 isn't always fully implemented. Be prepared to give your address and give it accurately. Sorry, everyone. Mr. Phillips said, you're telling a scary story. What's going on? I want to know what's going on. I'm worried about you. So he came to see me. Let's get back into this. So I get my address to the 911 operator. And they're like, okay, we're dispatching police and emergency services to your area. I'm like, great. And I'll be outside waiting for him. Okay? So I go to the front door. I'm trying to open the door. Like I said, fine motor skills, they were gone. Completely and totally gone. I had a heck of a time manipulating the door lock. Completely. I was having a heck of a time. It's a deadbolt, not even the ones you need a key on the inside, but just getting my hands, because I was shaking and sweating like crazy, horrifically, just getting my hand on the deadbolt, turning it, and getting outside actually proved to be quite difficult. Okay? So if you hear people say, hey, something goes wrong, shoot someone in the leg. Yeah, no problem, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, fine motor skills, they don't work very well. They don't work very well at all. Now, the cops actually showed up fairly quickly. They saw me at the end. I was kind of waving to them. They zoomed down to the end, get to the end of the street and check out. And they're like, man, you want any drugs? Because if you're shaking or something like that. And I said, no, I'm choking to death. And I could barely talk. And like, oh my gosh. And they're listening to me and stuff. One guy's like, are you sure you're not on any drugs? Because I probably looked crazy. I probably had wild eyes. I was sweating, shaking, and everything else. I bet I looked like a druggie or something like that to him. I'm like, no. Now, if you think about it, EMS, they're not really in, ambulances all the time, driving around, looking for people to take to the hospital for some emergency. No, they got to get woken up or, called in and, around here, it goes to rescue something alert or whatever. And then, after a few minutes, they get dressed and get moving. They call in and say, where's the location on it? The ambulance showed up, about probably, I think, 5 or 6 minutes later after the police showed up. And the police showed up probably around, I'd say 4 or 5 minutes after the whole event even started. So if I hadn't remembered to put a chair down on the floor and jump on it, I wouldn't be here telling you the story. Think about it. You got 3 minutes. 3 minutes to live. Scary, right? Well, the EMS guys get there. They're checking me out, listening, and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, there's something in there. Let's get him to the hospital. Oh, I get driven by hospital to the emergency room here and stuff like that. And our hospital was pretty small at the time. We didn't even have surgeons or anything like that. But there was x-rays, stuff like that. So they take an x-ray, and they could see the obstruction. It literally had piled up at the sphincter right above the stomach. and for some reason it spasmed shut. So there was this giant pile of food, all the steak, that hadn't gone down. And it was immensely painful also because the muscles kept spasming, trying to push it down, but it wasn't going. It was immensely painful. It's like that. And so they give me a drug, and it's to loosen those muscles that are in the soft tissues to help things move. And we wait. And I was not happy because I couldn't swallow anything, like I said. So, as you can imagine, I'm like getting saliva, stuff like that, runny nose, all the other sort of issues with a major drama going on. I'm getting to feel here. I can't swallow it though. I'm running over to the sink like every 30 seconds to spit out stuff. Oh yeah, pleasant, right? And so that's going by, and I'm like in a lot of pain. Because those muscles, they're just seized up, trying to get this food down, but it ain't going anywhere. Right? Nasty. Well, doesn't work. Medicine isn't helping with it. Let's give you another injection. Okay, we get another injection of this magical glucagon, which does work at other times. But for this time, it didn't. And I'm sitting there going, damn, this hurts a lot. And spitting in the sink, going back and forth, back and forth. And to me, it felt like a freaking eternity waiting for them to come back in. Doctor comes back in and says, yeah, this isn't working. So, we got an idea. There's no one really available, and we'd have to fly you up to Albuquerque because for some reason we can't get a transfer ambulance. So they'd have to call for a LifeFlight. My insurance at the time, well, let's just say that would have been unbelievably bad. So I'm like, well, what idea you got, doc? So basically he says, all right, we're going to get a rubber tube, like a clear vinyl tube, okay? We're going to get it real cold so it hardens up a bit. And we want to fish it down your esophagus to sort of like plumb it out of you like you would plumbing pipes or something like that. So we played stick a tube down my throat over and over again, probably like, 10 times or so. And it was uncomfortable immensely. It was horrific. It was utter hell. So like that. But it finally cleared. And they got all the stuff out, and all this goop came out, and all this blood, and it was unbelievably gross, disgusting, and I hurt a lot, right? And stuff. But it was cleared. I could actually slowly sip warm water, and it would go down. And I could swallow my own spit, and it would go down. Painfully, but it would go down. Finally, the disaster was coming to a close. So they got me home. It's like that. I went to bed, and I slept. I was more spent than I've ever been, really. I mean, other bad days, actually, this is probably the one I had the longest run of adrenaline for the longest period of time. And I can't believe how tired I was at the end. Unbelievably tired. It took everything out of me. And I think I slept for probably like close to 16 hours or something like that. You'd think I died in my sleep. All the little fuzzballs were probably wondering, what's up with him? Do we have to eat him for food later? But let me tell you, when you think about world-changing SHTF, other crazy things going on and stuff like that, there's a lot of things I don't think people understand the true scope and stress you're going to be under. How much this constant adrenaline dump and panic and fight, knowing, oh my gosh, it's here. Everything's changed. We got to deal with all these things on our own. No one is coming to help you. For all those people out there who say, oh yeah, when it hits, I'm ready. I can handle anything. I don't believe you at all. I really don't. And I don't think you understand how bad that stress is going to take a toll on you. I mean, even those people that were elite special operators working in foreign countries, going in deep behind enemy lines. Well, they had the support, the logistics, all these other systems engaged to help them. When things went bad, you end up with stories like Lone Survivor. Now, think about that. You are suddenly completely cut off. Let's say world-changing event hits, right? Suddenly you have no power, no gas, no water. No one's coming to save you. You're going to be way down on any list for emergency resources and supplies. Think about the stress you're going to be under. It's going to be bad. And it's not going to be, oh, I will conquer my fears and operate. It's going to be managing your fear. It's going to be managing your panic and learning how to deal with it. And until things sort of settle out and the new normal starts going together, it's going to be pretty rough, really rough. You're going to need your friends, really close friends, and your family. You're going to have to come together and that community, that strength to say, we're going to get through this. We're going to make it. We're going to be all right. That's really what's going to help you. Trying to be out there all on your own, alone, well, I don't have much faith you're going to get very far. And I just wanted to share this story and sort of give you an idea of, yeah, bad days, they're really bad. And for a lot of people that haven't experienced a complete and unbelievable adrenaline dump like that, and the knowledge you're going to die if you don't get your act together and solve this, you got a shock coming for you. Let me tell you, one heck of a shock. Well, I hope this was educational. I do hope it gets you thinking about things. And I do hope you think about some of the realities of what SHTF would really be like, especially after the Great Epoch. Well, take care, everyone. This is Reed. And Philip. Out for now.